Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Samadrita Basu and I will be presenting at the GHR 24 Symposium from 16th to 20th October, and the topic of my poster presentation is intercomparison between the decadal trend of phytoplankton. I've taken the time period around from 2000 to 2020 of the phytoplankton growth and chlorophyll A concentration over Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. So let's get started. So first we come across water phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons are microscopic plant-like organisms that drift near the surface of oceans, seas, and freshwater bodies. They obtain their energy through photosynthesis, as do trees and other plants on land. In comparison with terrestrial plants, phytoplankton are distributed over a larger surface area in the well-lit surface that is commonly known as the euphotic zone of the oceans and lakes. So why study phytoplankton and why is chlorophyll A pigment is important for studying phytoplanktons? Chlorophyll is a green pigment, the same pigment that makes tree leaves appear green, that the phytoplankton use to absorb sunlight. Thus, one way we estimate the number of phytoplankton in the ocean is by measuring the amount of chlorophyll A in the water. So again, coming back to the question, why study phytoplankton growth? Phytoplankton are essential primary producers in aquatic ecosystems, converting sunlight and nutrients into organic matter through photosynthesis. Phytoplankton play a crucial role in the global carbon cycle by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and releasing oxygen through photosynthesis. And changes in phytoplankton, most importantly, serves as an indicator of environmental health and climate change in aquatic ecosystems. Now for the poster, my area of interest is divided into two regions, Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. Now I have taken monthly average data from 2000 to 2020 from ERA 5 and Copernicus Marine Services. Now, what are the specific reasons for choosing the area of interest? The Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea are intriguing regions for studying phytoplankton growth due to their unique environmental conditions. So these areas experience seasonal monsoon, which brings significant variations in temperature, salinity, and nutrient availability. Such dynamic conditions make them hotspots for phytoplankton blooms. So this is the major reason why we chose this is the area of interest for our study. So the data collection, the atmospheric variables that are concerned is divided into two parts. That is, one is mostly atmospheric drivers, and then there are marine variables. Among the atmospheric variables are net surface shortwave radiation, total cloud cover, total precipitation, total column ozone, mean surface downward UV radiation. Though some of the variables are important or they are not important, but we have taken for the sake of completion of the work and we can understand or we can derive conclusions regarding it. The marine variables of interest are sea surface temperature, chlorophyll A concentration, phytoplankton growth, which is generally given in this as the carbon content, pH scale of the oceans, dissolved phosphate concentration, dissolved nitrate concentration. Now, objectives for the case study. The following are the objectives for the case study. We know that the atmospheric phenomena drives the oceanic circulations and vice versa. We have the necessary atmospheric variables, as we discussed, which can directly or indirectly affect the growth of both chlorophyll A concentration and, most importantly, phytoplankton growth. So we have divided this study in two parts. First, we intend to find out how the atmospheric and oceanic variables and their anomalies change over the given time, that is from 2000 to 2020. That is, we want to find out the anomaly trend analysis. Separately, for Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea region, our next and most interesting objective is to find out how the different oceanic parameters, focusing more on the phytoplankton growth, though we will consider the chlorophyll A concentration as well because it is a key pigment of phytoplanktons. They vary with different atmospheric parameters, that is to find the correlation between these two separately for the region of interest. And the variability of the drivers between these two regions is also a prime focus so as to infer the variability of the temporal growth of phytoplankton in these two regions. So here is something that is the summation of whatever I have said verbally. That is, our key interest is phytoplankton and chlorophyll A. So we can see phytoplankton is being associated with phosphate concentration, nitrate concentration, precipitation, sea surface temperature, the pH scale, and in turn, the total precipitation is governed by the cloud cover. Then we can say that the sea surface temperature is governed by the surface shortwave solar radiation, precipitation, and again the sea surface temperature is a key factor to the chlorophyll A concentration. The pH scale, however, affects the phytoplankton, and the dissolved nitrate and the dissolved phosphate can change the pH scale, and vice versa. And whatever it is, the summary of it is, the nature works in mysterious ways indeed. Now let's find something interesting from boring mathematical numbers. We'll be coming across many mathematical numbers which might or might not make sense. So let's understand something from it. So let's proceed. So these are the graphical representation of anomaly trend analysis within the temporal range of 20 years over the Bay of Bengal. So separately, I have taken for Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. So here, though from the slides, it is not quite visible how the trends are increasing or decreasing, but here we can see that is for the pH anomalies trend analysis. There is a successive decrease that we can see, that is the pH of over the Bay of Bengal seems to be decreasing, that is it is becoming less alkaline. And here are the other variables. Along with it, we have the over the Arabian Sea as well. Over the Arabian Sea, we have taken total precipitation, column, ozone, cloud cover anomaly, chlorophyll A concentration, SST anomaly, SSR anomaly. So we need to draw conclusions and not just look at the graphs. So results and findings, we have a table here which gives us many values here. So estimated anomaly changes in the last 20 years, and the conclusions that we can derive from it is for both the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea region, there is a decreasing trend of surface solar radiation, and an increasing trend can be seen for SST. An overall increasing trend for total column ozone is observed, thus resulting in a decreasing trend for UV flux reaching the surface. An interesting pattern both for chlorophyll A concentration and phytoplankton can be seen. So here comes the fun part. While there is a significant decreasing trend that is observed in Arabian Sea region, there is an insignificant positive trend that can be seen over Bay of Bengal. The same is true for dissolved phosphate concentration over both the regions. So chlorophyll, phytoplankton and phosphate, they are behaving in a similar manner over the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. By similar manner, we don't mean that it is either decreasing or increasing in both regions, but if chlorophyll and phytoplankton is increasing for Bay of Bengal, it is decreasing for Arabian Sea. So another very important aspect that has come up from the results is this alarming pH decreasing trend that can be observed over both Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. Thus one can conclude that both Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea is tending towards being acidic. So here are some of the regression plots that we have shown. That is the chlorophyll A phytoplankton and the relation with other atmospheric parameters over the 20 years. So from the graphs we can see that we have a nice slope for suppose for the cloud cover and the total precipitation. Both of them show a good slope, and they seem to be very closely related to each other. And when we come across chlorophyll A and phytoplankton, there is something interesting that is seen. So we see that the trend line for Arabian Sea is the green line that can be shown here. The green line is not changing. So we can say that there is least correlation between chlorophyll and phytoplankton, which is very surprising as a result. But here for the Bay of Bengal, it seems to have a good correlation with each other. So similarly, we have these as well. This is chlorophyll versus dissolved phosphate concentration, and we can see that the trend line for the Bay of Bengal, it shows that the chlorophyll and dissolved phosphate concentration, they are strongly correlated with each other over the Bay of Bengal, but not over the Arabian Sea. Similarly, for other plots, we can derive the same. So here is a table. It's a tabular format in which we have summed up the results. So some of the results, they are highlighted here, and the summary of this can be seen from this one. That is a conclusion that we can draw from all of the studies, is that over the Bay of Bengal, there is an insignificant but decreasing trend of chlorophyll A concentration and phytoplankton growth. Phytoplankton growth shows a strong positive correlation with chlorophyll A content, which in turn shows a strong correlation with dissolved phosphate concentration, almost 0.93. Phosphorus, as we know, is necessary for plant metabolism. Photosynthesis almost ceases under phosphorus deficiency. However, over the Arabian Sea, we see a significant decreasing trend both for chlorophyll A concentration and phytoplankton growth, which can only be accounted for the rise in sea surface temperature. Surprisingly enough, the phytoplankton growth doesn't seem to have any correlation with the change in chlorophyll A concentration. The pH over both the regions shows a promising decreasing trend, indicating that both the regions is tending to be less alkaline with time. The future scope. The statistical analysis performed here is a rough approximation over the 2 decades. That is, we have not taken into consideration many factors, which includes the seasonal variations, the nutrient availability, the coastal upwelling, and there are many more parameters on which chlorophyll A concentration as well as the phytoplankton growth, it depends in the oceanic region. So we haven't taken, it's just a gross approximation that we have done to see overall. We have taken, since we have taken 2 decades, so we wanted to see the decadal trend. So underlying the future scope, I think there lies a lot of work that has to be done more. So that's all, and thank you. Thank you so much for your time.